or Al Sharpton. If you're a Democrat, it's okay. I'll tell you, what about the thing? I mentioned it earlier this week. There's a guy running for the city council in Manhattan, West Harlem, and his platform is do something about the greedy Jewish landlords. Now, that story has appeared, I believe, in the New York Daily News. I'm not even sure it's made the New York Post. It's been in one newspaper in New York. Has it been in the New York Times? Can you imagine if a Republican was running, anywhere on the platform of cracking down on greedy Jewish landlords?
They wouldn't even have to be running. It could just be some Republican non-official who posts something on Facebook about that. Right. And it could become a story. Look at Richard Spencer.
Right. Richard Spencer, the quote-unquote white nationalist. Everybody in the world who's a Republican has to answer for this guy, Richard Spencer, who you probably have never heard of unless you're deep into internet alt-right websites. He's a white nationalist. But this guy is running around, and the Democrats on the city council in New York are saying you got to get rid of this guy, and that nobody's concerned about it. And the New York Times gives him a total pass. Paul, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Paul.
Hi, Howie.
Hi.
You mentioned Johnny Carson, and that's when Don Rickles died. I went to YouTube, which I've never really done very much, but they had all the clips off to the side, when you watch a clip, and they'll tell you the next one. And just how classy he was, and honestly, I thought Don Rickles was kind of crude in his time, but he wasn't crude at all.
No, I watched those same things. I watched some of those Dean Martin roasts where they had Don Rickles on. And, at the time in the 60s and 70s, they seemed like they were crude compared to the other stuff we were seeing on TV. But now they're totally G-rated, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I can't believe the stuff that they're putting on now. This is totally insane.
And the thing is, if it were funny, I'd say, okay, I get it. You had to go a little bit over the line to amuse everybody. But that Stephen Colbert crap, that was just offensive. It wasn't even good humor. It was just bad. And the guy is full of hate. Whatever happened to being a decent, hail fellow, well meant, and you have your right and I have my right, and but Colbert obviously doesn't think that way. He just wants to shut down everybody who disagrees with him. We'll take some more calls on this when we come back. I'm Howie Carr.
We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
We have proven that we can actually be civil to each other. In fact, just before taking the dais, Hillary accidentally bumped into me, and she very civilly said, "Pardon me." I know Hillary met my campaign manager, and I got the chance to meet the people who are working so hard to get her elected. There they are, the heads of NBC, CNN, CBS, ABC. There's the New York Times right over there, and the Washington Post. They're working overtime. True.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Many legislators claim to be for lower taxes and government transparency, but are they really? Massachusetts Fiscal Alliance keeps you informed by posting the voting records of our elected officials. You can log on to our website at massfiscal.org. Click Scorecard to see how your legislator is voting on Beacon Hill. And while you're there, make a donation. And be sure to join our email list so you can stay up to date with the latest information on what's happening at the State House with Massachusetts Fiscal Alliance.
Paid for by the Mass Fiscal Alliance. Rick Green, Chairman.
Hi, I'm Howie Carr, and I'm here with Rick Green of the Mass Fiscal Alliance. Wow, Mass Fiscal is really driving the Moonbats crazy.
Who knew putting voting records online would be so controversial? Many legislators claim to be for lower taxes and government transparency, but they sure don't vote that way.
Your group is just what this state needs. How can the listeners help you guys?
Just have them visit our website at www.massfiscal.org. They can join our email list and donate if they like. And of course, make sure they check out our scorecard to see how their legislators voted.
Paid for by the Mass Fiscal Alliance. Rick Green, Chairman.
Hi, this is Howie Carr, attorney at law. Are you a white male who voted for Donald Trump? Do you have a Make America Great sweatshirt or a hat? Have you had a beer since November the 8th? If you answered yes to one or more of the above questions, there's a good chance that you are soon going to be charged with committing a fake hate crime. Will you be ready, you uneducated redneck, when you get charged with committing a fake hate crime? Will you be ready? You need reasonable doubt at a reasonable price. And that's where Howie Carr, attorney at law, Esquire, comes in. Call me at 1-800-FAKE-HRC. 1-800-FAKE-HRC. And we will get you some legal insurance for when it inevitably occurs and you're charged with a fake hate crime.
We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
You know, they say when you do this kind of an event, you always start out with a self-deprecating joke. Some people think this would be tough for me, but the truth is... The truth is I'm actually a modest person, very modest. It's true. In fact, many people tell me that modesty is perhaps my best quality. I'd like to address an important religious matter, the issue of going to confession, or as Hillary calls it, the 4th of July weekend with FBI Director Comey.
This is the Howie Carr Show. Want to spend a day in studio with Howie Carr? Get to HowieCarrShow.com and click store to get tickets to Howie's in-studio VIP experience. Now, back to Howie Carr.
This half hour of the Howie Carr Show is powered by Wicked Good Cupcakes. There's no better way to say Happy Mother's Day than by sending Mom a delicious package of her favorite cupcakes. Go to wickedgoodcupcakes.com today. That's wickedgoodcupcakes.com. And by the way, you can see me this weekend at the Market Baskets. I'll be in Waltham at the Market Basket there, right off of 128 from noon until 1:30, signing my copies of my new book, Kennedy Babylon. And then I'll be at the Reading Market Basket from 2:30 to 4. Come on down. You can get all the details at HowieCarrShow.com and click on Kennedy Babylon. You can see all of my Market Basket tour appearances, and you can also see all my places where you can order my book if you don't want to order online at my own store, where this week only you get if you order the book, you also get a free T-shirt with the characters, the colorful characters on the cover of the book on the T-shirt. It's a good deal. Or you can order the book at Amazon.com, or you can get it at any of our fine retailers, and we have a list of all the retailers at just go to HowieCarrShow.com, click on Kennedy Babylon, and go to Kennedy Babylon retailers, and you can find a list of all the stores in Massachusetts, Maine, and Florida. One place in Florida where we've got the books for sale: Mass General Gift Shop, Yaki Shop at Mass General, Leahy Clinic Gift Shop in Burlington, and the gift shops at Newton Wellesley Hospital and Mount Auburn Hospital. You can also get the books at Wellesley Books, Bookends in Winchester, Andover Bookstore, the Book Rack in Newburyport, Cabot Street Books and Cards in Beverly, Spirit of 76 Bookstore in Marblehead, Used Book Superstore in Burlington. Down on the Cape, you can get it at the Booksmith, Music Smith in Orleans, and Titcomb's Bookshop in East Sandwich. You can get it at New England Mobile Book Fair in Newton Highlands on Needham Street. And you can get it in Western Mass at the Broadside Bookshop in Northampton. And you can also get the book in Maine at Ken's Place, our favorite fried clam seafood shack in Scarborough, at None Such Books in South Portland and Biddeford, and at Books A Million in Bangor and South Portland. And you can get it at the Palm Beach Bookstore in Palm Beach on Royal Ponciana Way. 1-844, or you can just go to our website and get it and get the free T-shirt along with it. That's the best deal this week anyway. HowieCarrshow.com. Click on Kennedy Babylon. Chris, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Howie. Love the show. Just a couple things.
Thank you.
First, in regards to the, what was that?
Yes, thank you, I said. Thanks for listening to the show.
Oh, okay. In regards to Stephen Colbert's horrible comments,
yes,
there's this relatively old saying about TV and radio where any advertisement, good or bad, is still good.
Yeah.
I think in his case, no matter what he says, so long as he gets people tuning in, he's going to keep surviving on that show. The second thing, is
Chris, though, where are the
advertisers?
Where are the advertisers who? There were 50 advertisers plus who left Bill O'Reilly's show. Even though that New York Times story, that front page story about his sexual harassment, or alleged sexual harassment, which I'm not defending, by the way, even though it was all old news, and 50 advertisers canceled. Has anybody canceled out on Stephen Colbert's show? I don't think so.
Not a single one.
No, exactly.
Not even one.
Exactly.
Lastly, if he's really having Samantha Bee on his show, I don't know how familiar you are with her beyond her horrible cancer comments.
Yeah.
The two of them combined are going to make Key and Peele look G-rated. I mean, that's just going to be awful.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
I just see him. You know, I don't even see him on social media. I'm not going to look those people up. But I see him every once in a while. I'm on the internet all day. I can't not run into them, and I'm just always perplexed because I see what supposedly is cracking everybody up. Oh wow! Oh, that's so funny. It's like this day every Sunday morning. They have when Alec Baldwin is on Saturday Night Live. Alec Baldwin slays Donald Trump. And so I watch it, and I go, yeah, I'm still standing. He slayed Donald Trump? He really did? Really? It was that funny? What do you think, Grace?
Samantha Bee, Howie, to me, is like a mix of Rachel Maddow and Amy Schumer. She's like a...
Talk about damning with faint praise, Grace.
Barbaric.
It's true, though. She's not funny, but she's super smug.
Oh. Didn't somebody ask Samantha Bee recently, was it, I think it was Bill
Jake
Maher.
Tapper.
Or was it
No,
Jake
it was
Tapper?
Jake Tapper. So she goes on with Jake Tapper, and he asked her about the smug style in liberal politics. And as she's explaining to him that liberals don't have a smug problem, she does that thing where the liberals close their eyes and they kind of look up and they talk. No, the liberals don't have a smug problem. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking. And you ask me, Howie, why do you go home at night and turn on YouTube and watch an old Boston Blackie movie that you've seen 25 times?
Well, it's not like Boston Blackie is the only alternative to Samantha Bee. There's plenty of good shows out there. You don't have to resort to Boston Blackie.
Yeah, how do you manage to turn this into an excuse for why it's okay that you watch all Boston Blackie?
Sometimes I don't watch all Boston Blackie. Sometimes I go to the library and I get out an old Perry Mason book from the 1950s.
How you made me listen to Boston Blackie, the audio version, on the way to Maine.
You wanted to listen to it. I asked you, did you want to listen to
Ooh,
it?
the truth comes out.
I wanted to listen to my podcast, and Howie said, oh, let's listen to Boston Blackie. I'm not going to say to my boss, no, we can't listen to that.
It's part of your duty. It's our job to keep him culturally relevant.
It was a long drive to Bangor, Maine.
That Boston Blackie was only 30 minutes, and I had you listening to the Chester Morris Boston Blackies. We didn't even go to Richard Colmer, Dorothy Kilgallen's husband. Those are the really bad ones. 1-844-500-4242. After thinking about Stephen Colbert, I'm really ready for Boston Blackie booked on suspicion tonight. One of my all-time favorite screen gems from the Columbia Pictures B movie unit. Maria, you're next with Howie Carr on the General Communications listener line. Go ahead, Maria.
Hi, Howie.
Hi.
I'm with you. I'm tired of, our administration and us being ripped apart. I mean, you've got Elizabeth Warren the other day saying that Republicans should donate their bodies so they can be cut up for science.
You know what? That's another good example, Maria. What would happen if pick any conservative in Congress or the governorship who said I wish Democrats would get chopped up so they could donate their body parts. I mean, it would again. Every Republican in the country would have to respond to that hate speech, right?
And then you got Maxine Waters calling Republicans and the administration scumbags.
Yeah.
On TV. I mean, it's over and over and over again. I mean, we've had to go through 2 years of being called every name under the sun, and we won, and it still doesn't end.
I'll give you another example. What about Donald Trump the other day talking about Andrew Jackson, which everybody understood. And by the way, there's a column in the Wall Street Journal today saying why he said what he said about Andrew Jackson in the Civil War. I mean, it was all historically accurate what he said. Joe Scarborough comes on and says, I think he's getting senile. Well, does Joe Scarborough think that Nancy Pelosi is getting senile? How many times has she called President Trump President Bush in the last 2 months? How many times has Maxine Waters gotten Korea and Crimea mixed up? But if anybody said that Pelosi or Maxine Waters were in the early grips of senile dementia, again, that would be ageist, racist, misogynist. You know that, right, Maria?
Yes, exactly. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Donald Trump makes a historical point that I don't know if they didn't get it, or they pretended not to get it. So I think they pretended not to get it. I mean, it's not exactly something you need a PhD in American history to understand what he was saying. He was just saying if there had been a strong man in the White House in 1860, maybe the Civil War could have been avoided. And again, we should tweet that. We should tweet the story out. I have the story here. It's James Buchanan was no Andrew Jackson. It's right. Let's see if you can tweet that out from the Wall Street Journal. It's by a guy named James S. Robbins. It's a good column. It's not very long, but it just makes the point. He's a historian. Thanks for the call, Maria. Chris, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Chris.
Howie, how you doing tonight?
Good.
Don't want to bring up Stephen Colbert. It's useless fodder.
I understand.
I can't understand how anybody can take a comedian seriously when it comes to politics.
Well,
I just can't understand it.
If they're funny though,
there's nothing funny about the guy at all.
Yeah, this wasn't. I mean, but Steve just said in my ear that this wasn't politics. This was a character attack. I mean, this was the unhinged ravings of a lunatic, somebody who was consumed with hatred for the duly elected president of the United States.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Neither that nor the Alec Baldwin issues. I mean, good for Alec Baldwin. He's finally making some money for himself. Other than that, I mean,
yeah.
I catch it on YouTube, for like 30 seconds, and then move on to more relative stuff.
The crazy thing though. The crazy thing is though, Chris. You go when he's on a Saturday night. You go to any of those left-wing, alt-left fake news websites, New York Times, Washington Post, Boston Globe, probably other ones too. They have a whole story, like it's a news story. And then people are on the message boards. You see it, Steve. People are going, this is news? Are you kidding me?
I don't see it on the message boards because I don't read the message boards, but maybe on Twitter, on social media.
But that's what they're going. I mean, how is this a news story? Did they have did the land shark make an appearance on Saturday night? Did he come back after 30 years? Did the land shark get a story about it was hilarious. That land shark slayed on Saturday night. No, it's only if Donald Trump is being ripped, or maybe if what's her name, Melissa McCarthy is pretending to be Sean Spicer. Which again, that was funny twice, but I think mercifully they've retired that one. They didn't. They don't keep going back to that one like they do Alec Baldwin.
I think the liberal bloggers have figured out that there's this like anti-Trump crowd out there who will click on stuff that's making fun of Trump. So it's all about the click economy.
Right. No, you're right. You're right. And again, that's why the New York Times is making money, because they're getting subscriptions from these people who just want to read nothing but Trump news. And it doesn't matter if it's fake news. That's the other thing, too. They
fake news.
They have figured it out. It doesn't matter. Just get it. He removed the bust of Martin Luther King.
I would actually say the fake news gets more clicks than stuff that's accurate.
It does. How about I think my all-time favorite fake news, other than the dossier, the Golden Showers dossier, of course, was the Russians have hacked in to the electrical grid of the United States of America. Remember that one? That was before Trump was even inaugurated. And it turned out it was a guy checking his email. But that didn't stop the Washington Post. They went right with it.
Come on, Howie. Democracy dies in darkness.
I know. I saw that today. I saw that. You would think that somebody would say, it's not really all that funny. It's really not a good slogan, considering we're running fake news stories about the Vermont electrical grid being hacked by the Russians. 1-844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
Don't move. Howie Carr is back next.
Hey, all you guys out there, can we talk about something personal? Your hair. Life is too short to always be fretting about your hair. Is the bald spot growing? Do people notice my comb over? The answer to that one is, of course they do. But you can solve your hair problems once and for all. Do what I did. Get a DiStefano hair restoration. After my DiStefano IGT procedure, my hair is thicker, my bald spots are gone, and no more comb over. My hair looks great now thanks to DiStefano hair restoration. I don't mind looking at my hair in the mirror anymore. Check out my hair for yourself on the Howie Cam or at my book signings. Get in touch with DiStefano Hair Restoration today. Call 800-858-HAIR. That's 800-858-HAIR. 800-858-HAIR or visit hairman.com.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Help me defeat Elizabeth Warren. My name is Jeff Deal. I'm a father, husband, concerned taxpayer, and the state representative who led the successful effort to repeal automatic gas tax hikes, saving you $2 billion. As a U.S. Senator, you don't throw the police force under the bus to score political points, you don't put illegal immigrants ahead of law-abiding citizens, and you don't neglect the people who elected you. If you want to defeat Elizabeth Warren, then go to dealforsenate.com. That's DIEHL for Senate.com. I'm Jeff Deal, and I approve this message. Paid for and authorized by Deal for U.S. Senate.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
I say, hey, wait a minute. He didn't leave the country. He wasn't out of the country. Michael Cohen of the Trump Organization was in Prague. It turned out to be a different Michael Cohen. Sure. It's a disgrace what took place. It's a disgrace. And I think they ought to apologize to start with Michael Cohen.
Sir, since you're attacking us, can you give us a question? Mr. President-elect, Mr. President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance?
Your organization.
You are attacking our news organization. Can you give us a chance to ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can you state, Mr. President-elect,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically, Mr. President-elect, can you give us a question? You're attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you give us a question?
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically that nobody... No, Mr. President-elect, that's not appropriate.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm telling you right now, it's awesome. I was trying to get my blood pressure regulated, okay? And like after 3 days of taking this thing, my blood pressure went back down to normal. I am ecstatic. I am so happy with this stuff. It is my savior.
This was the first summer that I have not had to have a steroid shot to help me to breathe. The reason why I'm taking it because I've got Hep C. Once I began taking your stuff, it took a few months, but believe it or not, my liver enzymes are way down and it's normal now. It works.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code TALK.
It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life, but I should have ordered it like 15 years ago.
Hi, folks. In a world of GMO, genetically modified organisms, that is, chemicals, processed foods, and a healthcare system that's unraveling like a cheap suit, it's time to prepare. God created herbs, and herbs help man. Our body can heal itself, just sometimes we need assistance. You need some help? GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Our mild detox is quite powerful with its unique blend of 8 different herbs. And if you're looking for more, our non-GMO supplements will help you with different needs you might have. Health should be a top priority. Take care of your health naturally. Log on to GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Give your body a treat. Let the herbs do their thing naturally. Read all the testimonies on the website, GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Sickness and viruses are like intruders, and herbs are like warriors. Let the tea work for you. That's GetTheT.com.
Read the uncut edition of Howie's latest Boston Herald column at HowieCarrShow.com. This is the Howie Carr Show.
413 says anyone offended, quote unquote, by Colbert's monologue is being a bit of a snowflake. I'm not offended by Colbert's monologue. I'm offended by the double standard, that there's no anger on the left side of the aisle. There are no angry feminists or angry gays, or transgendered who are PO'd about this and demanding that he be at least suspended, or there be a boycott, or the advertisers pull their sponsorship of his show. I mean, I don't really care what he said. I'm very very perplexed by the lack of any standards for left-wing people. So the standards only apply to conservatives, right? And O'Reilly, and again, I'm not defending what O'Reilly did, but there is a war on conservatives here. They went after O'Reilly, and they got O'Reilly, and Ailes is totally indefensible. They had no business getting rid of Bill Shine. He's a good guy. I know him personally. And he's a decent person, and Jesse Waters was probably out of line. I just read about what he did and heard the cuts. I didn't see the actual video, but it is what Jesse Waters did. And again, this woman, Lisa Bloom, Gloria Allred's daughter, who's represented some of the people who were accusing O'Reilly, the lawyer. She said, maybe we're going to get you next. Where is Lisa? Is Lisa Bloom? Has she tweeted out any threats against Stephen Colbert? I don't think so. I think that's what's bugging people. It's not. Nobody is saying that that we have to do away with the First Amendment because of what he said. I'm not saying that. None of the callers have said that. Nobody on the text line has said that.
I think most of the conservatives aren't even saying we should boycott the guy.
Yeah. It's just, can you at least have a little bit of outrage about what he said about the president? What if it said that about Hillary Clinton?
I think the thing that's offensive to me is that he's letting his Trump derangement syndrome get in the way of being funny.
Well,
the texters disagree with me, but he used to be funny.
Maybe he did. I don't know. You can't prove it by me. I'm just because I've never seen him. I've just seen that smirky face on the internet, and I just say he doesn't look funny to me, and I'm not, and life is too short to test it out, to test out my theory that he's another reputed comedian. I had to watch Al Franken today, And I was reminded of why I always call him a reputed comedian. At the now that he's getting old and he thinks he's serious and he's trying to morph into the new Bernie Sanders, he's even more insufferable than he was when he was on Saturday Night Live. Johnny, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Johnny.
Yeah, Howie. You know what? Who was that old Channel 7 anchor? And he talked about alleged news.
Jack Cole.
That's what I get.
Jack
Cole.
Yeah.
Alleged news. That's what these people are to me. And it's, on one hand, I try to be open-minded, but like I'll turn on NPR, but it's just so maddening. I can only last maybe a minute.
Yeah.
And what happened to Ann Coulter? That should send shivers down people's spine. I mean, they don't even want to hear your opinion if you don't believe what they believe.
I know.
And the whole NPR crowd, it's like
it's not that they don't want to hear it. They don't think you have the right to voice your opinion. And if you try to voice your opinion, they will attack you physically, and they will attack the people who are trying to listen to you. And they call themselves Antifa, like the anti-fascism. They're the fascists here. And they don't even get the irony of calling themselves anti-fascist. And again, I don't know if they're ignorant or they just, overcome with Trump derangement syndrome. Probably a combination of both. All right. We'll be back tomorrow. The new book about Barack Obama is out. Elderly driver kills 3 in Billerica. A lot of stuff to talk about even tomorrow. I'm Howie Carr.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play... We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
While I'm not at this time a candidate for the presidency, I will decide by June whether or not I will become one. Business Week magazine, which is now Bloomberg Business Week, said in a vote of its readers that Donald Trump was the world's most competitive business person.
The Pew Research says that there are, for immigrants on the whole,
Come on, try getting it out. Try getting it out.
I'll get it out.
I mean, I don't know if you're going to put this on television, but you don't even know what you're talking about. Try getting it out. Go ahead. I know the greatest negotiators in the world. Some are horrible people, horrible human beings. Who cares? Some Wall Street guys, they're brutal, they're miserable. You wouldn't want to go out to dinner. They're terrible people. I love him.
This is the Howie Carr Show. We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
CNN is terrible. CNN. You're with CNN? Are you with CNN? You people do not cover us accurately at all. So what I'm going to do is span out. Show them the crowd, press. Show them the crowd. Look, they're not turning the cameras. They don't even turn the cameras. Because you know what? They're very dishonest people. Frankly, I don't even think they give a damn about education, half of them. And I'm sure some maybe do. Use that word in this form. I will. Because people want to hear the truth, Frank. Here we are in the middle of a deal, and he doesn't call about that. One sentence, I'd say, you got to, before we start, get those people back. Used to be 3, now it's 4. Get those people. They'd be back the next hour.
This is the Howie Carr Show. The Howie Carr Show continues next. We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
I never attacked him on his look, and believe me, there's plenty of subject matter right there. That I can tell you. But Jake, it's a massive plant, one of the biggest in the world. They're going to make all these cars, trucks, and parts. They're even making parts. It's so big, they'll make the parts, the trucks. And I actually gave them a good idea. Why don't we just let the illegals drive the cars and trucks right in through the border? They don't have to even... It's true. No, I gave them that. Save a lot of money. That'll be next. No, they'll be doing that next. Who is Uma married to? One of the great sleazebags of our time. Anthony Weiner. Did you know that? She's married to Anthony Weiner. You know, the little bing, 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 bum, bum.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
I'm getting older and noticing that my body just doesn't work as well as it used to. So I like to keep fit as possible by hitting the gym a few times a week. Recently, I started having a nagging bicep pain, and it got so bad I couldn't even lift the weights. When I was complaining about it to a friend, he told me about Angioprim. He said chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in veins and arteries that may cause blockages. You know, after just 1 week of taking Angioprim, the pain was gone, and now I'm back in the gym full strength. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. So to learn more, go to angioprim.com. That's ANGIOPRIM.com, or talk to a trained consultant. Call Angioprim toll-free at 877-882-7221. You'll feel better with more energy. Call 877-882-7221 or go to the website angioprim.com.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
And by the way, they're coming from all over the world, including the Middle East. Why not? Come on in. We're stupid. We'll take care of you. We'll pay. Get sick, we'll take care of your hospitalization. What kind of a plan do you want? Oh, Don, you're a little controversial. You're talking about illegal immigration. I said it's illegal. The premiums are going through the roof. The deductibles, frankly, you have to get hit with a Komatsu tractor in order to use them. They're so high. The Iranians are great negotiators. The Persians are great negotiators. And we have people that are babies. It's like a chess player, grandmaster, playing against a checkers child. We have very stupid people in our country negotiating for us, and we have leaders that don't know what they're doing. And the media, look at all those people back there. Scavengers, they're like scavengers.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Would odors, mold, and mildew describe your basement or crawl space? It doesn't have to be that way. Transform them into a fresh, healthy, usable one with the technologically advanced Wave Moisture Control Units. The computerized operation maximizes moisture control and also expels harmful radon, combustion gases, and numerous other pollutants. Dehumidifiers are old technology that do nothing for air quality and waste energy. Wave units are intelligent, self-monitoring, do not need maintenance, and will save you hundreds in electricity. Wave units are still running effectively over 15 years. They've been tested and installed in public and military housing and by property managers nationwide. Buy a unit now, and if your home is not fresher and drier, you can return it for a full refund for up to 12 months. What have you got to lose? Call now. 1-888-618-WAVE. 1-888-618-WAVE. Or visit mydryhome.com. That's mydryhome.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
I never attacked him on his look, and believe me, there's plenty of subject matter right there. That I can tell you. But Jake, it's a massive plant, one of the biggest in the world. They're going to make all these cars, trucks, and parts. They're even making parts. It's so big, they'll make the parts, the trucks. And I actually gave them a good idea. Why don't we just let the illegals drive the cars and trucks right in through the border? They don't have to even, it's true. No, I gave them that. Save a lot of money. That'll be next. No, they'll be doing that next. Who is Uma married to? One of the great sleazebags of our time. Anthony Weiner. Did you know that? She's married to Anthony Weiner. You know, the little bing, 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 bum, bum.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Hi, this is Andrea from Ever So Humble Pie Company in East Walpole. Well, it's that time of year when comfort food is king. And now, in addition to our delectable dessert pies, we're offering home-style classics like chicken pot pie, shepherd's pie, and Canadian meat pie. Simply turn on your oven and you'll have a wholesome, hearty meal. Pick up a fruit pie while you're here, and you've got dinner and dessert from Ever So Humble Pie Company. For more information, call us at 508-660-9731 or visit us at eversohumble.com. That's eversohumble.com.
It's here, Howie Carr's latest book, Kennedy Babylon, A Century of Depravity and Scandal. Kennedy Babylon is a whirlwind tour of scandals from the days of the Kennedy clan's rabidly anti-Semitic patriarch to the death of JFK Jr. Ann Coulter says Howie Carr is making...
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
the point?
I believe Susan Rice abused this system, and she did it for political purposes. She needs to be brought in and questioned
Okay, you
under oath.
believe that, but none of us here, including Senator, with all due respect, know that. So
bring
let's
her
just
in,
be
ask
very
her
careful
ask
here.
her under oath.
And I'm
Ask
not
her-
defending Susan Rice. I'm
Ask
not
her whether
at all.
ask her whether President Obama ordered this or whether he knew about it. That is a big deal.
Live from an undisclosed location.
James Comey is a danger to the country. He surrounds himself with his own cult of personality. He believes that he is the last righteous man left standing. When he held that news conference on July 5th and accused Hillary Clinton and then exonerated her, he violated every rule and regulation of the Department of Justice.
Well, it's no secret. Comey doesn't get invited to many parties on Capitol Hill. He's about as popular as cholera.
Unchained and unstoppable.
My first foreign trip as President of the United States will be to Saudi Arabia, then Israel, and then to a place that my Cardinals love very much, Rome. Tolerance is the cornerstone of peace.
Who's your captain? Howie Carr.
Do you have evidence that there was in fact collusion between Trump associates and Russia during the campaign?
Not at this time.
Well, that's a pretty precise answer. I know the investigation is continuing. Senator, thanks.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
Yes, and the investigation into Al Capone's vaults in Cicero, Illinois, is continuing too, Wolf, in case you were wondering. It's going to turn up about as much information as the investigation by J. Edgar Comey into the Russian collusion in the 2016 campaign between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. All right. 1-844-500-4242. But even Dianne Feinstein, they can't even pretend that there's anything going on. But they believe it. They're also investigating the appearances of a unicorn in yes. Did you know that? Yes, in Billings, Montana, a unicorn was seen, an albino unicorn was seen last night. They're going to have an investigation of where it is and where it was and how many more there are out there. Yes, and whether any of the albino unicorns performed golden showers in the St. Petersburg hotel room rented by Donald Trump before he became president of the United States, which had once been occupied by the Obamas. Think I'm making this up? What do you think? I'm on CNN? I don't. You can trust me. I'm not like the others. 1-844-500-4242. That is the toll-free number of the Howie Carr Show if you'd like to join us here this afternoon. Every weekday afternoon, in case you didn't hear, the House of Representatives has just passed the what do they call it? The the American Health Care Act. The American Health Care Act. This is the Obama care replacement legislation, and of course, this is just one step. It was passed just barely 216 to 211. They needed 216 votes, and that's precisely how many they get because there's a couple of vacancies because some of the Republican members of the House have been appointed to cabinet positions. So they didn't need 218. They needed 216, and that's what they got. And as they got the vote, 216 to 211, the Democrats on their side of the chambers were singing, na 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 na, hey hey hey, goodbye. In other words, it's your party now. They could have been singing that too. It's my party, and I'll cry if I want to. And I think they passed a pig in a poke. I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand everything that's in it, and neither do all the people that are gathering now at the White House. They've been bussed in from Capitol Hill on buses. They're going to have a big celebration. They were the White House press corps saw cases and kegs of beer being pulled in. Nothing can ever come of passing legislation and then having a beer blast. I've seen it so many times in the old days at Beacon Hill at the State House in Boston, and it's just not a good idea. Let the people, if they want to have a drink, let them go to the country club and have John Boehner buy him a beer or a drink. You know, it's not a good look. And they've got all of them standing up there. I haven't seen this many congressmen standing behind a president since the impeachment vote in 1998. Remember that? When they brought all the Democrats in after the House voted to impeach Bill Clinton for high crimes and misdemeanors. So here they are. They're all going and they're all taking a bow and they're congratulating one another. Oh, they're so happy. They're so happy. I hope it's good. I hope it's good news. I'm just I'm somewhat skeptical that anything good can come of something that has just happened this precipitously. They got the votes they needed. They wanted to get this thing done. They wanted to do something. And usually when you just want to do something rather than do something right, it doesn't work out for the best long term.
Isn't it kind of odd that they're having this party before the Senate votes?
Yeah, that makes no sense because the Senate has an open-ended process for amending, and they've already said these are like fairly serious Republican senators like Thune from I think South Dakota, and he's talking about how that this legislation, no matter how well intentioned, is going to that's been passed by the House today is going to cut off a lot of people in the baby boom generation who are approaching retirement. Their insurance is going to be too expensive, and so they're going to have to deal with that and probably a host of other issues too in this thing. But this thing was a giant mess, and that's the way the Democrats wanted it, and I think that's the way Obama wanted it. And I think Charles Krauthammer on Fox, who's a physician, was onto something when he said the main thing that the Democrats wanted to do back in 2010 when they passed this abomination was to just get another entitlement in place and to just set up, even though it's in a nation of 320 or 330 million people, it's a fairly small number of people who would be affected by anything, even at this point, even after all these years. But they were going to set up a chain of sob stories in the media so that anything you did would produce this domino effect of all these people claiming that they had been wrong, right up to and including I think basic maybe well-intentioned but economically and health policy illiterate people like Jimmy Kimmel talking about how his kid would have died if there hadn't been Obamacare. I don't think that's true. I'm not putting them down, but it's just not the way the real world works. And so they didn't want to do this, and they wanted to give President Trump a victory, and he just wanted to take the heat off of himself. And they were making it out like this was. I think they were making it out that this defeat of the original Obamacare repeal was a much bigger setback for the administration than it really was. I stand by what I've said from day one, which is the Freedom Caucus did them a favor by deep sixing it because it was just too messy. Now it does do a number of good things. We're going to let you just speak on it, and again, we're all kind of like still trying to wade through it and see what's going on. But we'll take a few calls on it at 1-844-500-4242. The American Health Care Act, this is from Town Hall, Guy Benson, repeals the individual mandate tax. That's the fine, in other words. The fine if you don't buy. That's a good thing. You want more freedom, less freedom in a free society, correct?
But I do think it still contains the continuous coverage incentive.
Right.
Which is the surcharge if you go a certain period of time without health insurance.
Right. But the thing is that this surcharge, so in other words, if you get a cancer diagnosis, God forbid, you can get on a health plan by paying this 30% surcharge. It's the same. It's basically the same thing. They've rolled it back on page 15, and then they put it back in on page 22. That's what it amounts to. That's why. I wonder how much good this thing really does. It rolls back the employer mandate, which has had negative economic impact. I know I lost a tenant in Framingham because of this, because a woman had to move back in with her parents because she worked at one of those big box department stores, and they cut her hours back because they didn't want to pay her health insurance, and she couldn't. She had to pay her own health insurance with fewer hours, and she couldn't make my monthly rent payment, so she moved back to the house. And I know there's tons of people that were in that category. It has had negative economic impacts, including curtailing some workers' hours, including my former tenant. It rolls back, repeals, and delays many of Obamacare's taxes, such as the innovation-stifling medical device tax. Now, that's particularly significant to people in Massachusetts and southern New Hampshire, because we have many of these medical device companies that were being ground into the dust by these new taxes. So that's a good thing for our region. It undoes the current law's subsidy system starting in 2020. That's welfare. So we've always had people calling in. I'm a freelancer, and my husband hasn't worked since 1981, and this is great for us. Okay, you don't work, in other words. Okay, I get it. Okay, but what about the guy like my tenant, who had a job and now doesn't have now can't afford to live on her own? It doubles the allowed tax-free annual contribution to health savings accounts. That's good for me. I like that. And it shifts that means I can put it into an account without paying taxes on it, and then use it to pay my deductibles and my co-pays and that kind of stuff for medication I need, like for my black toe. It shifts the ratio of age bands to pre-Obamacare levels, allowing carriers to offer cheaper plans to younger consumers. That's obviously a good thing, because the younger consumers don't need as much. Why should they be picking up the tab for older, sicker people? But there's people with pre-existing conditions are still on the plan. Although there's a lot of questions about whether or not this is just something that people are concentrating on in media stories because it's easy to understand. That there's not really that much of a call for pre-existing plans that cover pre-existing conditions.
Is the black toe a pre-existing condition?
I can't remember when it didn't exist, so I don't know. So maybe it is a pre-existing condition. I hadn't even thought about that.
Is there a black toe surcharge on your health insurance?
No, there's
payments?
no surcharge on the black toe. I'm doing pretty well. Now though, before I get my next prescription, I have to go to get a blood test to see if the fungus is still in my blood.
The fungus is in your blood?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
This is not
a pleasant condition. It's not life-threatening, but it's not pleasant either.
You've had fungus coursing in your veins?
All my life, as far as I know, or at least back to junior high school days.
Fungal blood car.
Oh, it's under control though right now. It's in pretty good shape. Thank you, Dr. Alan Green in Chestnut Hill. All right, this Saturday I will be at the Market Baskets in Waltham and Reading, Massachusetts for my Kennedy Babylon Market Basket book tour. I'll have plenty of copies of Kennedy Babylon and will personally inscribe one for you if you buy one, and you can get a nice magnet, a bum magnet, or a Kennedy Babylon cover magnet. I'll be at the Waltham, Massachusetts Market Basket from noon to 1:30 and the Reading Market Basket from 2:30 to 4 this Saturday. Get more details and see the entire Kennedy Babylon Market Basket tour schedule at HowieCarrShow.com. Click Kennedy Babylon. I will see you on Saturday. I'm Howie Carr.
The Howie Carr Show.
I keep my personal gun collection in my Liberty safe, and I love knowing that no one can get to these guns but me. These safes are amazing.
And everything I have is totally and completely safe thanks to Liberty safes.
They're number one for a reason. They survive the dynamite blast. They drop them from 200 feet. The Liberty safes survive. They are picked up by a tornado and thrown a block and a half away. And they're still closed, and the stuff inside is still intact. They've been in house fires where everything is burned down, and yet the documents still remain inside. They're amazing.
So when you get a Liberty safe, honestly, you'll be like, I just want to go out in the garage, or I want to go to the basement and I just want to sit with it for a while.
Oh, I just open and close it all the time because I think I'm cool.
They are unbelievable.
Yeah.
They're unlike any other safe you've ever seen.
They really understand how to get out the message, and it doesn't hurt that they make a really great product. So thanks, Liberty Safe. It's always fun working with you.
Deal. I'm a father, husband, concerned taxpayer, and the state representative who led the successful effort to repeal automatic gas tax hikes, saving you $2 billion. As a U.S. Senator, you don't throw the police force under the bus to score political points, you don't put illegal immigrants ahead of law-abiding citizens, and you don't neglect the people who elected you. If you want to defeat Elizabeth Warren, then go to dealforsenate.com. That's D-I-E-H-L for Senate.com. I'm Jeff Deal, and I approve this message. Paid for and authorized by Deal for U.S. Senate.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
And the poll just came out, and I'm tied with Jeb Bush. And I said, oh, that's too bad. How can I be tied with this guy? He's terrible. He's terrible. So Uma is getting classified secrets. She's married to Anthony Weiner, who's a perv. No, he is. I beat the people from China. I win against China. You can win against China if you're smart. But our people don't have a clue. And then the next day, he'll be called by special interests that supported him, his lobbyists who push him around like a piece of candy. We have heads being chopped off because they're Christian in the Middle East. We have borders where people are being killed all up. The world is cracking up, and they're worried about my tone.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Hey there, quick question for you. Would you be okay with more energy, more endurance, thicker, healthier hair, a better mood, reduced appearance of wrinkles, improved sleep, improved blood pressure and cholesterol profiles, improved vision, improved memory? Okay then. Well now, have you heard of Nature's Youth RSF? It's from the anti-aging experts at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. See, at Nature's Youth, they understand exactly what it means to provide top-quality health products. And Nature's Youth customers not only improve their health, they know they're also providing their body with the right nourishment to maintain that peak performance and fight the aging process. If health, wellness, and nutrition are what you desire, choose Nature's Youth RSF. I did. You see, you're going to get older. It's just up to you how you feel when you get there. Get started today. Nature's Youth RSF. Simple to use, simple to order. Go to nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com.
Hi, this is Howie Carr, attorney at law. Are you a white male who voted for Donald Trump? Do you have a Make America Great sweatshirt or a hat? Have you had a beer since November the 8th? If you answered yes to one or more of the above questions, there's a good chance that you are soon going to be charged with committing a fake hate crime. Will you be ready, you uneducated redneck? When you get charged with committing a fake hate crime, will you be ready? You need reasonable doubt at a reasonable price. And that's where Howie Carr, attorney at law, Esquire, comes in. Call me at 1-800-FAKE-HRC. 1-800-FAKE-HRC. And we will get you some legal insurance for when it inevitably occurs and you're charged with a fake hate crime.
He says it because he means it. This is the Howie Carr Show.
1-844-500-4242. President Trump was just speaking very briefly. He said he wanted to brag about the GOP health care plan, and now Ryan is about to start speaking. We're going to try to cut in and get some comments here as we go along. But first, let's do the poll question. Today's poll question is brought to you by Simply Safe. If you're not there when a fire starts, who will be there to save your home? With Simply Safe Home Security, your smoke detectors will immediately alert emergency services at the first sign of a fire. Get 10% off your system today at simplysafehowie.com. That's simplysafehowie.com. Steve, what is the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Is the American Health Care Act going to make the American healthcare system better?
I rather doubt it. No.
55% say no.
Yeah.
It's close.
Yeah, it's close. Well, listen, can we listen to Ryan here for a moment?
I also want to thank the team here at the White House.
The team.
I want to thank Tom Price. I want to thank Mick Mulvaney. And I especially want to thank Reince Priebus. We could not have done this without
and his neighbor
gentlemen.
in Wisconsin.
You guys are the best.
What a bum kisser Ryan is.
Of course, this would not have been possible if that weren't for these two gentlemen behind me. This is the fourth presidency I've served with. I have never, ever seen any kind of engagement like this. I want to thank Mike Pence, and I want to thank President Donald Trump for their personal involvement in working with our members and working to get this right, for getting this done and getting us to where we are. Thank you, gentlemen.
They're all nodding, patting each other on the back.
Today was a big day.
Some of them are looking around for where the beer is.
One step in this process, an important step. We still have a lot of work to do to get this signed into law.
No kidding.
And I know that our friends over in the Senate are eager to get to work.
Oh, it's one of those little inside jokes.
We're going to see that work through. You know why we're going to see this work through? Because the issues are just too important. The stakes are just too high. The problems facing American families are real. And the problems facing American families as a result of Obamacare are just too dire and too urgent. Just this week, we learned of another state, Iowa, where the last remaining health care plan is pulling out of 94 of their 99 counties, leaving most of their citizens with no plans.
Shouldn't this have been a talking point for the last 48 hours or so?
What kind of protection is Obamacare if there are no plans to choose from? And this is a trend that we are seeing all across the country. The truth is, this law has failed and is collapsing.
That's true.
Premiums are skyrocketing and choices are disappearing. And it is only getting worse, spiraling out of control. And that is why we have to repeal this law and put in place a real, vibrant marketplace with competition and lower premiums for families.
But does this do it?
That's what the American Health Care Act is all about. It makes health care more affordable. It takes care of our most vulnerable. And it shifts power from Washington back to the states, and most importantly, back to you, the patient. Like I said, we've got a lot of work to do. But one thing is now clear. Republicans are committed to keeping our promise to lift the burden of Obamacare from the American people and put in place a better, more patient-centered system. It is my pleasure at this time to thank and to welcome to the stage someone who helped make this so possible, our very talented Majority Leader, Kevin McCarthy.
I think this is when we can check out now, Kevin McCarthy.
But he's very talented, very talented.
Very talented. Just ask that female congresswoman from North Carolina that he was running around with. Yes.
Was he very talented when he slipped up and said that the Benghazi committee was about driving Hillary's poll numbers down?
Yeah. He's a regular Bob Livingston is what he is. All right. We'll be back in a moment. If you want to talk about this, 1-844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
CNN is terrible. CNN. You're with CNN? Are you with CNN? You people do not cover us accurately at all.
So what I'm going to do is span out. Span out. Show them the crowd, press. Show them the crowd. Show them the crowd. Look, they're not turning the cameras. They don't even turn the cameras. They don't even turn the cameras because you know what? They're very dishonest people. Frankly, I don't even think they give a damn about education, half of them. and I'm sure some maybe do, use that word in this forum.
I will.
Because people want to hear the truth, Frank.
Here we are in the middle of a deal, and he doesn't call about that. One sentence, I'd say, you got to, before we start, get those people back. Used to be 3, now it's 4. Get those people. They'd be back the next hour.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Many legislators claim to be for lower taxes and government transparency, but are they really? Massachusetts Fiscal Alliance keeps you informed by posting the voting records of our elected officials. You can log on to our website at massfiscal.org. Click Scorecard to see how your legislator is voting on Beacon Hill. And while you're there, make a donation. And be sure to join our email list so you can stay up to date with the latest information on what's happening at the State House with Massachusetts Fiscal Alliance.
Paid for by the Mass Fiscal Alliance, Rick Green, Chairman.
Hi, I'm Howie Carr, and I'm here with Rick Green of the Mass Fiscal Alliance. Wow, Mass Fiscal is really driving the moonbats crazy.
Who knew putting voting records online would be so controversial? Many legislators claim to be for lower taxes and government transparency, but they sure don't vote that way.
Your group is just what this state needs. How can the listeners help you guys?
Just have them visit our website at www.massfiscal.org. They can join our email list and donate if they like. And of course, make sure they check out our scorecard to see how their legislators voted.
Paid for by the Mass Fiscal Alliance, Rick Green, Chairman.
Hi, folks. In a world of GMO, genetically modified organisms, that is, chemicals, processed foods, and a healthcare system that's unraveling like a cheap suit, it's time to prepare. God created herbs, and herbs help man. Our body can heal itself, just sometimes we need assistance. You need some help? GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Our mild detox is quite powerful with its unique blend of 8 different herbs. And if you're looking for more, our non-GMO supplements will help you with different needs you might have. Health should be a top priority. Take care of your health naturally. Log on to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Give your body a treat. Let the herbs do their thing naturally. Read all the testimonies on the website, GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Sickness and viruses are like intruders, and herbs are like warriors. Let the tea work for you. That's GetTheTea.com.
We could play another commercial, or we could just play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
It's great to be here with 1,000 wonderful people, or as I call it, a small, intimate dinner with some friends. Or as Hillary calls it, her largest crowd of the season. I have no doubt that Hillary is going to laugh quite a bit tonight, sometimes even at an appropriate moment. You know, last night I called Hillary a nasty woman. But this stuff is all relative. After listening to Hillary rattle on and on and on, I don't think so badly of Rosie O'Donnell anymore.
This is the Howie Carr Show. Have you seen Howie's latest t-shirts and sweatshirts? Grab one now at HowieCarrShow.com. This is the Howie Carr Show.
All right, it's that time of the week again. And by the way, the Republican replacement for Obamacare has been passed by the House. Now it goes to the Senate. They're having a big victory lap at the White House, and then they're going to have some alcohol. And they're having a good time, and they're enjoying themselves, and they're patting one another on the back. And the vote was 216 to 211. All the Democrats voted no, and 20 Republicans voted no. So that's why it was so close. They got it with no votes to spare. No votes to spare. All right, now we're going to take some calls on this. 1-844-500-4242. Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing for the Republicans and for the country at large? But in the meantime, it's that time of the week again. It's Thursday afternoon in the first hour. That means it's time for our weekly Cheap Bastards deal.
It's Howie Carr's Cheap Bastard deal. Oh, yeah. Sounds too good to be true.
Oh, no, it's real, and it's a steal.
You know there's plenty more when you shop at Howie's store for another Howie Carr Cheap Bastard deal.
Howie Carr, the
the cheapest bastard around.
And today's cheap bastard deal is one that we've had in the past, and it's been very, very popular with listeners to the Howie Carr Show. It's 50% off an Aquasonics Wave jewelry cleaner. Get to HowieCarrShow.com and click on deals if you'd like to get one of these. Dave Bellman, he's the inventor of the Aquasonic Wave jewelry cleaner. He's from Manchester, New Hampshire. He's a jewelry store owner up there. He's with us today to talk about this. Dave, as you know, thousands of my listeners, literally thousands of them, have purchased an Aquasonic Wave jewelry cleaner in the past 6 months. And you've talked a lot about how the Aquasonic Wave jewelry cleaner kills nasty germs on people's jewelry and makes them really shiny. And that's what a lot of people like even more than killing the microbes. They like to have the jewelry shining and sparkling. So tell us quickly how it works.
Sure. No, that's really a big part of what we're doing is we're cleaning jewelry, and that's something that a lot of people haven't been able to do, especially at home, and do it well. And that's something that we've accomplished.
Yeah, you buy that crappy paste.
Oh.
I remember my aunts used to have that crappy paste, and they would always try to be. And then they'd always little pieces of the paste would get stuck in the little holes, and the jewelry would sometimes end up looking worse than it did before.
You're absolutely right. And what we're doing is we're using and harnessing the power of the dishwasher, and also the same elements we use in our jewelry store for cleaning jewelry. And that is how you're going to be able to clean your jewelry at home with professional results. And the best part is you can do it with your dishes, so you just do it all at the same time. And I think that's been the big problem, because a lot of women lately have been saying to me, finally I can have clean jewelry and not have to go home and set up a bunch of equipment or try to scrub it and do all these crazy things and spend a lot of time. Now you can just, like I do, before we go to bed at night, we wash dishes, we wash jewelry, we get up in the morning, everything's clean, ready to go.
Yeah, just like the glasses. You don't have to worry about the glasses anymore. You just put them in the dishwasher. So now you can just do the same thing with the jewelry. Just Absolutely. Put them in there, and they come out sparkling, shining. Grace, you love these. You love the Aquasonic Wave, don't you?
Yes, and I also have given one to my mother, and I know Mother's Day is coming up, and we had a show, Howie, in Malden, where I thought I was going to get a couple of questions afterwards about the Aquasonic, but my mom was there, and she ended up being the star of the show because everyone wanted to know, Grace's mom, what do you think of the Aquasonic? And she does really love it, and she was telling everyone about it, and it was really fun.
Okay, so this is, again, it's a perfect Mother's Day gift. It's almost time for Mother's Day. Give Mom the gift of making her jewelry shine again. And Dave Bellman, the inventor of the Aquasonic Wave jewelry cleaner, thank you for coming down. Again, we appreciate it. So this cheap bastard deal always sells out in not very long. So if you want to get one right now, get your Aquasonic Wave jewelry cleaner right now for 50% off at HowieCarrShow.com. Click on deals, and you'll get the Aquasonic Wave jewelry cleaner for 50% off. Get one for yourself, get one for your wife, get one for your mother.
Or get one for Mika. If Joe's out there, he might want to. She has a beautiful oval diamond ring, and it's set in platinum. I think that maybe this would be the perfect time for him to get this gift.
Yes, in case you didn't hear that, page 6 of the New York Post, the gossip column, announced today that Mika and Joe are betrothed.
It's all Grace has been able to talk about today.
I find it fascinating that they went from last week, him telling her she was snotty and rude, to now they're going to spend eternity together. Clearly, he was trying to get out of the doghouse, which I respect, but I don't think it would hurt to buy her one more gift, the Aquasonic Wave jewelry cleaner.
That's when they might as well have been married when they were yelling at each other like that. That was my conclusion that I drew from that little spat last week.
I know, and he's trying to play it off as this is like his birthday gift because she just turned 50. It's like, come on now. We all saw your little quarrel on TV.
All right. Someone says it passed 217 to 213. When I saw the numbers, it was 216 to 211. So it's 217 to 213. They had one vote to spare. It was a landslide for the American Health Care Act. All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks for coming in. Again, go to HowieCarrShow.com, HowieCarrShow.com, and click on deals if you want to get the Aquasonic Wave. 50% off on the Aquasonic Wave jewelry cleaner. I'm Howie Carr.
The Howie Carr Show continues next.
Hello out there. Incredibly bad Christopher Walken impersonator here. A lot of companies have these zany mission statements that sound like they were written by a bunch of pinheads sitting in an ivory tower somewhere chock full of claptrap about process solutions and commitments to constituencies and long-term strategies, another such falderall. And frankly, it's doubtful anyone who works there even knows what's in it, except perhaps the pinheads that wrote it. My friends, if you don't know where you're going, how will you know if you're lost? Matthews Brothers doesn't have an ivory tower, and I'm fairly certain they have some kind of unwritten rule about hiring pinheads. Their company mission statement is 4 words: consistently superior customer service. They call it WOW customer service, and it's the shining beacon that guides these Matthews brothers and sisters through their daily endeavors. You can see the results of this singular commitment to wicked awesomeness, but only at better lumberyards and window professionals or on the web at MatthewsBrothers.com. Matthews Brothers, 1T, America's oldest window manufacturer.
To make finding the perfect used car as easy as possible. That means I do all of the tough legwork for you. Once I figure out what you want out of a car, I go find it. I've been in this business for a long time, and I know what to look out for. I won't bring you a car unless I know it will meet or exceed your expectations. So give me a call at 800-300-4600. That is 800-300-4600.
I received a call from Perfect Smiles that one of my listeners visited them and asked, why doesn't Howie get his teeth cleaned here? When I was told about this, I was shocked. I've known Dr. Houghton of Nashua, New Hampshire for over 15 years, and I never knew they did routine cleanings. I always thought of Perfect Smiles as the place to go for high-end dentistry. After all, they transformed my smile. But now I've just made my first appointment with their hygienist. So whether you need a cleaning, filling, root canal, or new smile, call Perfect Smiles at 1-844-A-PERFECT-SMILE or find them at perfectsmiles.com. Don't be fooled by imposters. You want Dr. Houghton of perfectsmiles.com.
And now one of Howie's biggest fans.
Some of the hats were crocheted, you ignorant Republican. It's pronounced creme de la creme, you stupid Republican. He's 12 years older than me. I wish he'd learn how to speak English. He's 12 years older than I, because you would say he's 12 years older than I am. You wouldn't say he's 12 years older than me am. I wish you would learn English. Go to Mexico, learn English, then climb over this wall that's not going to be built and paid for. Bye. Have you tried the Donald Trump sandwich yet? It's bologna with Russian dressing, a tiny pickle on white. Do you really think everyone of voting age has a driver's license? That shows what an idiot you are. Do you think somebody 97 who wants to vote has a driver's license? You're an idiot. You're the biggest idiot.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm telling you right now, it's awesome. I was trying to get my blood pressure regulated, okay? And like after 3 days of taking this thing, my blood pressure went back down to normal. I am ecstatic. I am so happy with this stuff. It is my savior.
This was the first summer that I have not had to have a steroid shot to help me to breathe.
The reason why I'm taking it because I've got Hep C. Once I began taking your stuff, it took a few months, but believe it or not, my liver enzymes are way down and it's normal now. It works.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code TALK.
It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life, but I should have ordered it like 15 years ago.
If your home has hard water, then it's likely that limescale is clogging your pipes, damaging your appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars each year. You can eliminate limescale in the entire house with HydroCare products available at Wave Home Solutions. Easy and efficient with no maintenance, no salts, no chemicals, and no coils. And you can buy with confidence from Wave Home Solutions. Performance guaranteed. Just go to bestwater411.com. That's bestwater411.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Traveling around New England? Wherever you go, Howie's there. Find Howie's list of stations at HowieCarrShow.com. Now, back to Howie Carr.
One 844-500-4242. I know it's early, and we don't have a good idea of what's in the health care bill, because guess what? The 217 people who just voted for the health care bill, they don't know what's in the health care bill either, nor do the 211 Democrats, mostly in a handful of Republicans who voted against it. They don't know what's in it either. But it's the breaking news of the day. So if you have a feeling about how the bill's going to play out, give us a call at 1-844-500-4242. Adult children can stay on their parents' plans through age 26. That, of course, is going to remain. That's one of the nice sweeteners in the deal. And consumers with pre-existing conditions must have access to a high-risk pool, which is especially important in the so-called waiver states. Now, again, this is there's been pieces by people like Avik Roy, who's been a guest on the Howie Carr Show. He's a real healthcare maven. He's a real wonk on this stuff, and he says that this pre-existing conditions is being overemphasized, that there aren't that many people that it really affects. But again, it's easy to tug on the violin strings with a pre-existing condition. You know, he had cancer and he can't get on a health care program. But again, I mean, there's a Supreme Court decision that says you can go to the emergency room. No one dies out on the street. You know, there's stories all the time in British newspapers about people dying on the streets, and they have, they call it, the National Health Service, NHS. That doesn't happen in the United States, as you know, because we still have the best healthcare system in the world, no thanks to Barack Obama and Nancy Pelosi and all the rest of them. Policy concerns, and again, this is from Town Hall. Guy Benson wrote this today. It's a pretty good piece. And we're going to try to have Dr. Peter Warner on tomorrow to discuss this. The neurologist from Wellesley who comes on the show sometimes. He'll take a look at it tonight, and then we'll talk to him about it tomorrow. We'll maybe try to get another one of these Avik Roy type guys on to discuss it as well. But right now everybody's just at the tap, getting some suds to celebrate the big victory. The legislation is far from perfect, says Guy Benson, and the Senate's open-ended amendment process must and will be used to alter the bill. It's widely recognized that a critical mass of older Americans approaching retirement age will be priced out of affordable plans. The problem is that so many people have already been priced out of affordable plans. And these aren't the people that have, quote-unquote, advocates hanging around the State House or Capitol Hill or the AARP that are going to call up the newspapers or the websites or the networks. These are the people that are working 2 or 3 jobs. They used to have a plan where the premium was $400 a month. Now it's $1,000 a month or $1,500 a month. The deductibles are $10,000 a year. So even though they're paying 4 times what they were paying, they can't access it because the deductibles are too high. And by the way, the copays have also gone through the roof. But those are the people who are invisible to the mainstream media. And this comes back to what Politico was writing about last week, which is now so much of local media has dried up and evaporated with the changes in the internet. There's no more classified ads. All the local reporters have been laid off. So everybody's writing from Silicon Valley. They can get the AARP to put them in contact with somebody who's not going to be covered under the new plan if they can't get pre-existing health care, quote unquote, coverage. But they're not going to get the guy who works the 3 jobs and now can't even go to get his black toe fungus removed because he's got a $10,000 deductible. Those people are going to slip through the cracks as far as the mainstream media is concerned. So that's why you're going to see a barrage of stories, saying about how terrible this plan is. And that's why the Democrats were cheering today when the vote came in, because they know that their fellow travelers in the media are going to make this seem like it's a terrible imposition on the American people. If the only slap on the wrist for waiting to get sick or injured before showing up to buy quote unquote insurance is a one-time, quickly expiring uptick in cost. This is the 30% surtax that we were talking about. Why won't these consumers just continue to save the money and wait? Well, that's a good question. And the answer, obviously, is they're going to continue to save. They're just going to wait until they get the diagnosis and say, now you need kidney dialysis every week. Now you need to have chemo, and it's going to be very expensive. So, okay, I'm going to pay. Okay, so I would owe $8,000 on my health care plan. So instead, I'm going to owe $10,400. So that's what you're going to do. You're not going to start paying the money in the anticipation that perhaps someday down the road you're going to get sick. It goes against all human nature. Benson says, this is what I just outlined to you. This is precisely the dynamic that is dooming Obamacare's risk pools. More affordable, less mandate-driven coverage offerings to younger folks may attract more quote-unquote young invincibles to the market, but the Senate should now explore whether or not the prorating the surcharge to reflect the amount of time a new consumer was uninsured might work better. See, this is the thing. This is my problem with all these plans. It's always just there's another carrot, there's another stick. It just doesn't work. You end up with something like the tax code. Everybody gets a sweetener in the tax code, and if you don't hire the right lobbyist, you get punished in the tax code. So now we've done the same thing. That was the problem with Obamacare. It was put together by lobbyists, and the first repeal and replace effort was put together by lobbyists. And it just seems, and I know, I don't want to, be a Pollyanna and just say let's go back to what we had before World War II when everybody paid, and you could get a doctor to come out to your house for $10. And that's the way it worked. I mean, I understand we can't go back to those days, but can we at least minimize all these lobbyists and these sweeteners and these punishments and these waivers and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? It's just it just doesn't work. Keep government at a minimum here. And wherever you have whatever you subsidize, you get more of, and whatever you tax, you get less of. Okay, so we've been taxing the bleep out of healthcare, and we've been getting less healthcare. There was an interesting story today on the internet, and we've talked about it a little bit before, but Obamacare was passed in 2010, and it was supposed to provide better healthcare for the overall population of the United States of America. So how come it was in 2015, after 5 years of the so-called Affordable Care Act, that for the first time since 1993, the death rate for American population overall started going up? Why is that? Could it possibly have anything to do with the fact that fewer people are really accessing health care because of Obamacare? And you can't tell me that's not true. That is a fact. As Guy Benson points out in this town hall story, more people have been hurt by Obamacare than have been helped by Obamacare. And there's just no way around that. And so today, the House of Representatives, just a few moments ago, has voted on a bill without the finalized text being available to the public or even the members for any reasonable amount of time. You know what else is missing? A fiscal score from the Congressional Budget Office. And I mean, these things are very imprecise to begin with. I mean, they really underestimated the terrible toll that Obamacare would take on the deficits and on the budgets of the federal government and the state government. But still, you need something to work with, some kind of estimate, I would think. And as Benson says, this is bad practice and bad precedent. Yes, the CBO's projections on Obamacare have been pretty terrible on several key measurements, and the preliminary judgments on Obamacare were overly on this new bill were overly alarmist. But those are not good enough excuses. In fact, the lack of a CBO score will likely delay any action in the Senate. Now, Paul Ryan, the House Speaker, he's very happy today. Obviously, the heat's off him, or so he thinks. But here's a sound cut from Paul Ryan in 2009 when they were getting ready to pass Obamacare, wearing this time in 2009 and 2010, it was the Democrats who had put on the blinders and just gone ahead like the charge of the Light Brigade. Into the Valley of Death rode the 600. Here it is.
Are Republicans being genuine in their complaint that this is moving too quickly?
Well, yes, I don't think we should pass bills that we haven't read, that we don't know what they cost. I mean,
that's pretty basic, isn't it? I mean, you don't have to be a PhD in political science to know that. I don't think we should pass bills that we haven't read, that we don't know how, that we don't know what they cost. So, the Republicans, they campaigned. They won 3 national elections in 2010. 2014, and then they rolled. They ran the table in 2016. They won the House, they won the Senate, they won the presidency. Talking about repealing Obamacare. So now they've taken the first step in that direction, and we don't really know what they've done. Nobody. I don't think they. Maybe a handful of them, though. Maybe Tom Price, the HHS secretary, a former congressman from Georgia and a former physician, or a physician. Maybe he knows what they've done. Maybe a handful of people understand it, but I don't think most of us do. 1-844-500-4242. We'll be back. I'm Howie Carr.
We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
John McCain goes, oh boy, Trump makes my life difficult. He had 15,000 crazies show up. Crazies. He called them all crazy. I said, they weren't crazy. They were great Americans. These people, if you would have seen these people, I know what crazy is. I know all about crazies. These weren't crazy. So he insulted me, and he insulted everybody in that room. And I said, somebody should run against John McCain, who has been, in my opinion, not so hot. And I supported him. I supported him for president. I raised $1 million for him. It's a lot of money. I supported him. He lost. He let us down. But, he lost. So I never liked him as much after that, because I don't like losers. And the poll just came out, and I'm tied with Jeb Bush. And I said, oh, that's too bad. How can I be tied with this guy? He's terrible. He's terrible.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Hey guys, it's Grace from the Howie Carr Show. Gifts are always great, but who really needs more stuff? Let's be honest, between Christmas and the New Year, it's hard to come up with a nice way to give a great gift without just regifting that old fruitcake. But luckily, we have the perfect gift idea for you. It's the Howie Carr Show VIP experience. If someone you know is a fan of Howard Lawrence Carr, then this is the perfect way to celebrate any occasion. Come visit Howie in our brand new studio and watch the entire show. Best part? Well, if you were to ask Howie, he'd probably say the Kowloon. And I can't really disagree. But there is also no other way to see all the behind-the-scenes work that goes into New England's favorite radio show. Get your picture with Howie and a selfie with yours truly. We've had over 100 people enjoy the VIP experience, and the reviews have been stellar. We've even had the occasional guest on air to tell their own funny story to the listeners. So don't delay and buy your VIP experience today at HowieCarrshow.com. Click store. HowieCarrshow.com. Click store.
Carr Show continues next. We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
John McCain goes, oh boy, Trump makes my life difficult. He had 15,000 crazies show up. Crazies. He called them all crazy. I said, they weren't crazy. They were great Americans. These people, if you would have seen these people, I know what crazy is. I know all about crazies. These weren't crazy. So he insulted me, and he insulted everybody in that room. And I said, somebody should run against John McCain, who has been, in my opinion, not so hot. And I supported him. I supported him for president. I raised $1 million for him. It's a lot of money. I supported him. He lost. He let us down. But, he lost. So I never liked him as much after that, because I don't like losers. And the poll just came out, and I'm tied with Jeb Bush. And I said, oh, that's too bad. How can I be tied with this guy? He's terrible. He's terrible.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
Hey guys, it's Grace from the Howie Carr Show. Gifts are always great, but who really needs more stuff? Let's be honest, between Christmas and the New Year, it's hard to come up with a nice way to give a great gift without just regifting that old fruitcake. But luckily, we have the perfect gift idea for you. It's the Howie Carr Show VIP experience. If someone you know is a fan of Howard Lauren's car, then this is the perfect way to celebrate any occasion. Come visit Howie in our brand new studio and watch the entire show. Best part? Well, if you were to ask Howie, he'd probably say the Kowloon. And I can't really disagree. But there is also no other way to see all the behind-the-scenes work that goes into New England's favorite radio show. Get your picture with Howie and a selfie with yours truly. We've had over 100 people enjoy the VIP experience, and the reviews have been stellar. We've even had the occasional guest on air to tell their own funny story to the listeners. So don't delay and buy your VIP experience today at HowieCarShow.com. Click store. HowieCarShow.com. Click store.
We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
And I don't want this evening without saying something nice about my opponent. Hillary's been in Washington a long time. She knows a lot about how government works. And according to her sworn testimony, Hillary has forgotten more things than most of us will ever know. That I can tell you. Now, if some of you haven't noticed, Hillary isn't laughing as much as the rest of us. That's because she knows the jokes. And all of the jokes were given to her in advance of the dinner by Donna Brazil. Here she is tonight in public, pretending not to hate Catholics.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
PatriotPrepared.com carries the leading brands of storable food from Numanna, Legacy, and Heaven's Harvest. Patriot Prepared. Our name says it all. We're dedicated to empowering you to be self-reliant and confident in any circumstance. Whether you want to be prepared in the event of an emergency or you're an outdoor sports enthusiast, PatriotPrepared.com has prepackaged meals and kits for your entire family. Legacy, Heaven's Harvest, and Numanna are known for high-quality, great-tasting, GMO-free, nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. Simple to prepare, easy to store, gluten-free and organic high-quality nutrition options with a 25-year shelf life. You can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. So go to PatriotPrepared.com right now to pick up your supply of high-quality storable food for your family, because it makes good sense to be prepared. That's PatriotPrepared.com.
We could play another commercial, or we could play 60 seconds of Donald Trump. Yeah, let's do that.
So the Mexican government is not happy with me, to put it mildly. And again, I respect Mexico, but their leaders are too smart for our leaders, because we have stupid leaders, okay? You mean it's not politically correct, and yet everybody uses it? So you know what? Give me a different term. Give me a different term. What else would you like to say? Or you want me to say that? Okay, no, I'll use the word anchor baby. Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. They dunk people with a cage. Did you see that? They dunk them and drown them. These people make Saddam Hussein look like a choir boy. I know Anthony Weiner for a long time. I knew before they caught him with the bing, 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 right? And he was a bad guy then. It turned out that he was a really bad guy. I beat the people from China. I win against China. You can win against China if you're smart. But our people don't have a clue.
This is the Howie Carr Show.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification.
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
I believe Susan Rice abused this system, and she did it for political purposes. She needs to be brought in and questioned under oath.
Okay, you believe that, but none of us here, including Senator, with all due respect, know that. So
bring
let's
her
just
in,
be very careful
ask
here.
her under oath.
And I'm not defending Susan Rice. I'm not at all.
Ask her whether President Obama ordered this or whether he knew about it. That is a big deal.
Live from an undisclosed location.
James Comey is a danger to the country. He surrounds himself with his own cult of personality. He believes that he is the last righteous man left standing. When he held that news conference on July 5th and accused Hillary Clinton and then exonerated her, he violated every rule and regulation of the Department of Justice.
Well, it's no secret. Comey doesn't get invited to many parties on Capitol Hill. He's about as popular as cholera.
Unchained and unstoppable.
My first foreign trip as President of the United States will be to Saudi Arabia, then Israel, and then to a place that my Cardinals love very much, Rome. Tolerance is the cornerstone of peace.
Who's your captain? Howie Carr.
Do you have evidence that there was in fact collusion between Trump associates and Russia during the campaign?
Not at this time.
Well, that's a pretty precise answer. I know the investigation is continuing. Senator, thanks.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
1-844-500-4242. That's the number to call if you'd like to join us on the show today and every weekday. Welcome to the Howie Carr Show. And something tells me James Comey, J. Edgar Comey, is more popular than cholera, even in Georgetown. You know, come on. He helped out Hillary. He could have been a lot worse for Hillary. I mean, I know she's blaming him now. You know, success has 1,000 fathers and failure is an orphan, and the Hillary campaign is the ultimate failure of the last 10 or 15 years. There's no question about that. So he's taken he's got to take the paternity test, I guess, for the Trump victory, so to speak. But you know, come on, it's not that bad. 1-844-500-4242. As you know, the House just approved the Obamacare replace repeal bill. It goes to the Senate now. It's a long road to Tipperary, as they say. And I'm just watching Senator Rand Paul on one of the networks, and he's saying it's going to take a little bit of work to get me to a yes vote. He's talking about the subsidies for the billions in subsidies for the insurance companies, et cetera, et cetera. They don't have a lot of leeway in the Senate. There's fewer senators percentage-wise than there are Republican House members, and if they just lose a couple, that's it. And so it's going to be a long, arduous process if they ever get anything done. I hope this is an improvement. I'm a little bit skeptical. I mean, I know Obamacare really is imploding, and there's no question about that. Gruber and Rahm Emanuel's brother. What's his name? Ezekiel Emanuel. They're gonna be out there lying their asses off tonight on cable news and in the next couple of days about how Obamacare is a sparkling success, et cetera, et cetera. But it's just not true. You know it's not true. And nobody, as a 617, one of our texters says, the only people who loved Obamacare were either subsidized or on Medicaid, not to mention illegals. In other words, people who were getting it paid for. It was a welfare entitlement, is what it became. Is what it was that's what it was designed from. They never admitted that in 2009, 2010, but that's what it was, and that's those are the only people who benefited, as the 617 says. But the problem is, as 603 says, now the Democrats can campaign that not one of them voted for this bill. They've completely turned the tables. This will be their rallying cry in 2018. Yeah, I know. I know. That's the problem. And they got the media on their side. It's just a megaphone for the Democrats. We're going to have. I keep using this phrase, and I know you're probably getting sick of it, but we're going to have sob stories after sob stories about this. Joe Blow can't get a treatment for his fill in the blank, his cholera.
As one of the texters points out, are we going to see any grandmothers being pushed off a cliff in a wheelchair?
Well, if we do, it won't be the first time, will it? I mean, the last time we saw that, it was 2012, and a guy that looked a lot like Butch Munster and Paul Ryan was doing the pushing, right? Remember that? Remember those ads that they ran? Like it was somehow Ryan's fault that the old people were dying. Just that's the way it is. But the Dems, the Dems, they didn't break ranks. Of course, the Republicans didn't break ranks in 2010, did they? I don't think a single Republican voted in favor of Obamacare, and actually a few Democrats came over and joined the Republicans. People like Steve Lynch from South Boston, because he was a union guy. And he knew, and he said, and again, I'm not carrying a brief for Steve Lynch. He's, in many ways, just another traditional machine politician from the ranks of the city of Boston machine politicians. But he said, he said to his members that he used to run the Iron Workers Union local here in Boston. And he said, they're going to put a Cadillac tax on your plan. There's going to be a 40% tax. Now, they've never put that. They never did. It's in the past now. They never did put the 40% tax on because they knew it would be even more of a poison pill than all the other poison pills in Obamacare. But, that was their plan. Their plan was to soak it to people who worked for a living, to provide more money and coverage for people who don't work for a living, who, of course, are the Democrat core constituency. All right. But anyway, we're going to move on now. It's it's too complicated right now before we even know what's in the bill to discuss it with any kind of certainty. But we'll get back to this tomorrow when we have a better handle on what's in the bill. 860 says, Howie, children will be dying in the streets by nightfall. Laughing out loud. It's for the children. That's true. I mean, he's making a joke of it, but that's what we're going to see. I could tell you, being a former local TV reporter, how the stories are going to start? It's always good to come up with natural sound. You know what the nat sound is going to be in these stories? A crying baby. I know that sounds like a crow, but that's the best crying baby I can come up with on short notice.
How about flatlines too in the hospital?
Yeah, well, we need the crying baby first. That's the sound. Chiquita couldn't bring her baby Pedro to the emergency room anymore because the heartless Republicans have cut off. Then we'll have a translator coming in to translate her wailings into English, and then we'll have a shot of a member of the greatest generation being wheeled into the emergency room. He's 95 years old. Joe Blow served at Pearl Harbor. He swam away from the burning USS Arizona. He planned to live to a ripe old age, but then he was the pre-existing conditions cut him off. And this is what his EKG looked like after two minutes in the emergency room. Then we'll have your flatliner. Your flatline will come in. That's the future, baby. That's the future. That's what's and that's been the plan all along. And it's unfortunate, but the Republicans are going to have to explain this. And and I understand, and you understand, but there are a lot of low info voters out there who don't pay too much attention to what's going on. And those are the people that are going to have to be convinced that the alternative to this, the implosion of Obamacare, the states pulling. Ryan mentioned the unfolding fiasco in Iowa. They're pulling. It's one of the big insurance companies. I think it's Aetna is pulling out of Virginia. As you know, premiums, as Donald Trump never tires of saying, in Arizona are up 116%. But you're not going to see any of that on the alt-left, very fake news media tonight and into the future, for the foreseeable future.
Did you catch Tim Kaine's tweet about Aetna pulling out of Virginia?
What did he say?
This is because Donald Trump is creating uncertainty in the healthcare system. Can you imagine that? That's delusional.
Uncertainty. With the Affordable Care Act, we had certainty. It was certainly going to fail. But again, try to explain that through the cacophony of the bleeding voices. 1-844-500-4242. We're going to discuss the Comey hearings yesterday and Uma getting a pass, even though she funneled not hundreds, not thousands, but hundreds of thousands of emails to Carlos Danger, the perv who's in a photo finish with the grand jury. Blackmail, anyone? Blackmail potentials here? 1-844-500-4242. That's the toll-free number of the Howie Carr Show. This hour of the Howie Carr Show is brought to you in part by Ken's Place in Scarborough, Maine. Stop by today and have one of my world-famous favorite dishes, the batter-dipped fried clams. By the way, if you've been trying to get into HowieCarrShow.com to take advantage of the Cheap Bastards deal and order an Aquasonic Wave jewelry cleaner, we've been tied up on the line, but we have more, so try again. If you couldn't get through on the website, we were slammed earlier, but you should be able to get through now and get 50% off your Aquasonic Wave jewelry cleaner right now. HowieCarrShow.com, click on deals, and you get 50% off this great Mother's Day gift, or just a great gift for any day. I'm Howie Carr.
Hang on. The Howie Carr Show returns next.
5,318.
I have her in the same car with me?
Yeah.
With that nasty ring? I'm going to be walking home now,
The reading is 4,767. And here's a chart which explains what the different levels mean.
What did you say mine was?
4,767.
So worse than filthy.
I mean, I never imagined it would be dirtier than a toilet seat, so that's pretty disgusting.
Oh my
God.
Oh my God!
Hi, this is David Bellman, inventor of the Aquasonic Wave. I've tested hundreds of rings, bracelets, earrings, and necklaces, and over 95% of the time, I get a bacteria reading higher than a public toilet seat. In addition to massive amounts of bacteria, the dirt and grime that builds up on your jewelry diminishes its beauty. Diamonds stop sparkling, colored gemstones look washed out and lifeless, gold and silver looks dull. Look, everything we wear in our bodies gets cleaned on a daily basis, except our jewelry. Why, you ask? It's simple. No one ever told us to clean it. We've been conditioned to put our jewelry on our bodies and forget about it. We need to break that nasty habit. We need to start cleaning our jewelry like we clean everything else we wear and everything we touch. And the Aquasonic Wave makes it so easy. First, place your jewelry in the Aquasonic Wave. It can hold up to 8 items of jewelry. Add 1 packet of antibacterial gel to kill 99% of all harmful bacteria. Now, place the wave on the top or bottom rack of your dishwasher with your dishes, and you're done. When the dishwasher stops, your jewelry is cleaned and sanitized with professional results. No extra equipment to plug in, no more scrubbing jewelry by hand. Simple, quick, and easy. Do this just once a week, and your jewelry will look new and be bacteria-free. Try the Wave for 30 days, and I guarantee you will love it. How can I be so sure? Well, that's easy. I've sold over 100,000 Aquasonic Waves, and not one single Aquasonic Wave has ever been returned.
Helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in veins and arteries that may cause blockages. You know, after just 1 week of taking Angioprim, the pain was gone, and now I'm back in the gym full strength. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. So to learn more, go to angioprim.com. That's ANGIOPRIM.com, or talk to a trained consultant. Call Angioprim toll free at 877-882-7221. You'll feel better with more energy. Call 877-882-7221 or go to the website angioprim.com.
Would odors, mold, and mildew describe your basement or crawl space? It doesn't have to be that way. Transform them into a fresh, healthy, usable one with the technologically advanced Wave moisture control units. The computerized operation maximizes moisture control and also expels harmful radon, combustion gases, and numerous other pollutants. Dehumidifiers are old technology that do nothing for air quality and waste energy. Wave units are intelligent, self-monitoring, do not need maintenance, and will save you hundreds in electricity. Wave units are still running effectively over 15 years. They've been tested and installed in public and military housing and by property managers nationwide. Buy a unit now, and if your home is not fresher and drier, you can return it for a full refund for up to 12 months. What have you got to lose? Call now. 1-888-618-WAVE. 1-888-618-WAVE. Or visit mydryhome.com. That's mydryhome.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Grace Curley is giving you her take on the news of the day. Read Grace's latest column at HowieCarrShow.com. This is the Howie Carr Show.
1-844-500-4646. Before we get to the phone lines, I didn't take any phone calls in the first hour because I didn't know we had any calls. Thought it was just too complicated. We had full lines all through the hour, and we've been having a problem with the internet for some reason. I don't know what it is, but okay, we got full lines again, and I'll take some call. I'm just seeing a picture of a chasm in the mountains. Well, we'll get to some calls in just a moment. Anyway, today's poll question is brought to you by Simply Safe. If you're not there when a fire starts, who will be there to save your home? With Simply Safe Home Security, your smoke detectors will immediately alert emergency services at the first sign of a fire. Get 10% off your system today at simplysafehowie.com. That's simplysafehowie.com. Steve, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Is the American Health Care Act going to make the American healthcare system better?
I fear not.
59% say no, but I think I'd have to be in the yes column because Obamacare is just about as bad as it can get.
It is. But the question is this going to make it better, or is it just going to open up the Republicans to being attacked by the mainstream media, which whatever they did, they were going to be attacked by the mainstream media. They can't get anything done. Now it's going to be, they got something done. We had a perfect system. It was the best system in the world. Just ask Chiquita here and her little baby, the illegal alien.
Instead of getting Iraq war casualty counts, it'll be, Republican healthcare reform casualty counts on CNN.
Exactly. Before we go to the lines on Comey and the email scandal, 339, I couldn't agree with this guy more. Tired of the whining about Comey, also the persistent hypocrisy and amnesia from the left. Remember, if Clinton had never made these very bad decisions to have a private server, that's one way to put it, a very bad decision. Commit a crime is another way to put it. That's the way I would prefer to put it. Or if she had cooperated completely and fully with the investigation when story came out a long time ago, Comey would have never been in the awful position of having to rule on her inexcusable behavior at election time. Let's not forget, too, forget about the fact that they were downloading hundreds of, by his own account, hundreds of thousands of emails to Carlos Danger's, the Perv's account. How about the fact that she erased or deleted, not erased, that's too vanilla a term. She deleted, she bleached, bited out, she obliterated 33,000 emails that had been subpoenaed.